What did you say?
Mudda secret.
What?
Mudda secret.
The mud is sick. The mud is sick. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Mud is Sick here on the Original People Network. I mean, I know I haven't done a lot of these in a very long time. I don't know. Life just been taking me down a whole different path, way to where I somewhat. I mean, I just was busy. I would say sometimes just uninspired, but most so, just dealing with. I guess that we understand and already dealing with burnout because work, life, running around, being stressed out, and just needing a woosah moment, which, in the last probably, I guess since the pandemic or since 2019, I haven't really taken an official creative break. I've just dialed back more so what I'm doing and not try to overwork myself on the creative end, but still working at a high clip. Otherwise, to make funds and money in my regular day-to-day job. But before we get into the topic today, because I would like to talk about the topic of rest. If you'd like to sponsor this show or any other show, feel free to email us at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com or slide in our DMs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, well, X, and then I think we on Threads too. TikTok as well for more of this great content, because I'm really trying to monetize this. And in the past couple of weeks, we've slowed down because here I'm located in the breeze at Chosen Few Studios. And for the last couple of weeks, last 2 months in the year, we've really been, focusing on upgrading this facility. This is our new blackout wall. Again, you won't know which part of the studio we in, but, we still bringing it to you. So where do I begin with rest? First, I'd like to talk about, we live in a culture where everybody's a hustle, everybody's an entrepreneur. We gotta grind, the grind is rise and shine, grind, rise, all those things. We sleep when we die. Everybody wants, I feel like this been a trending thing, especially with the island of social media from 2016, 2017, that everybody's trying to be a millionaire, future millionaires, affirmations, planning, hardship, all that shebang. And we've been on this rat race, probably even before, but I'm gonna just talk about my journey, what I, from my, point of view, from 2017 to now. And it's just, grind, hustle, blah, 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 blah. But one factor we really never really talk about is burnout. And we don't really know what burnout really looks like. And we have no solution to burnout. And then we also kind of neglect the effect of what rest or the lack thereof does to the body and to the psyche. Over the years, I've realized that in some instances, I suffer from sleep deprivation. I don't feel super well rested every day. And that could, because of lack of sleep, you might not be your best self. You might be a little bit cranky. Your mind and mental faculties may not be as sharp. And oftentimes, That can be due to diet, lifestyle, dealing with large amounts of stress. The whole works. But over time, I've learned to better manage my stress levels, better learn how to, I always been talking about this since the inception of the show, really understanding myself and learning to take breaks, learning to enjoy life. I don't have to worry about being the CEO of me, being the top entrepreneur, being Mr. Six-Figure Man with 10 streams of income. And all that is fine and grand dandy, but it's at certain points of time, the body just breaks down. And not whether it be physically, it can be mentally, it can be emotionally, you just need to disconnect. And what happens to a lot of people that trend on this path of always going, you eventually shut down. You incur a shutdown, a breakdown, whatever you want to name it. So, one of my goals for 2024 is to have more rest. Not, working it. If I'm tired, all money is good money, but sometimes some of them extracurricular activities got to cut back. Sometimes not taking that gig for just so you can rest. You got to implement that. Sometimes working extra hours at work for that little bit of money, you got to say, okay, nah, I value my rest, my time off. I need to recover from just living. Life has become a whole lot harder and not as easy to deal with because we often have not only social media where everybody posts their highlight reel and we feel that we should have these status symbols in order to say that we have arrived, but also our generation ain't really putting up with previous generations put up with when it comes to the workforce and how the politics of today's workforce is, whether it be, you're working long hours for low pay, but the cost of living is so high, so the pay isn't even worth nothing. So then you either upset at your job or you working yourself like a dog to do 2-3 other jobs besides the one that you already give 40 hours a week to. But then you try to hustle to get out that cycle to be your own boss, and then you become a hypocrite because the same things that you was complaining about that you were incurring at when you were fully employed by somebody else, you do to your own employees. And the cycle continues. So I realize these things and see these things. And, my goals in life changed a lot. What I sort of deemed as success changed. What I really valued as it pertains to career sort of changed. I stopped stressing myself out for not being, I think I'm at a good place to where I want to be. Obviously, I could always be better compensated for my talents and gifts. But I feel like that's coming on the way because we already put in all the hard work. So, because I already built a foundation and a reputation of who I am career-wise, it's time to relax, time to chill. Because whatever I've been incurring recently is symptoms of what I've dealt with in the past. Burnout. And now I know how to better manage that, and I'm trying to see that at the end of the line. But sometimes you just have to say, hey, this is doing too much. I can't deal with it. Instead of quitting cold turkey, learn to take breaks. I think back in 2021, I did this. I took a break. I remember I just got to a point because I needed space and time to sort of get my mental together back at that point. As you already know, if you've been listening, I was unemployed for almost a whole year. I think I was only living off of, I mean, obviously I didn't have too much overhead because of my situation, but basically making like $500 a month at that point in time, burning through my savings just to pay bills. And at that point in time, my worth was tied to my income. And I think a lot of people go through this. So because I wasn't making no money, I felt worthless. And that should have never been the case. But I had to learn and grow from that situation to know, not because at a present time I was without funds, that means that I was less than. So I took that break because even creating podcasts such as these, I couldn't, because I was in my mental well-being wasn't in the best place. I just couldn't create anymore. I couldn't do nothing what I loved. And I just had to take a seat back from it all and just get my mental together. So I remember, I think at the end of July that year, I officially took a break. Didn't make nothing new in August. Did nothing new in September. I think it wasn't until late October I started recording podcasts again. And that's around the time I created Mario Goes to Therapy, because I was dying to go over to therapy, but just ain't had the funds to go. And I sort of dying now, but just around the time to go. Crazy, isn't it? But I learned from that experience, you have to take breaks. The mind is very fragile. We take this thing, what we have in our head, for granted. Sometimes you gotta step away and say, no more. This is my limit. I can't take on no more. I need to refresh myself. And I'm glad I learned, not just particularly in 2021, even before that. I remember 2018, I worked, I think, through over 300 days before I took a break from work. And it showed, like, my mind wasn't mentally sharp. I was barely getting any sleep. And it just took a toll. I remember, that October, from October in 2017 to October of 2018, I didn't even take a break from work. Just work, long hours, late hours. And then it was like, hey, then we just go on vacation I think I went on vacation for 3 weeks. I remember the first set of days, I was having nightmares at work. And that's how I know I was experiencing a little bit of burnout now, because having them saying nightmares again and waking up angry. But I remember the first 3 days of my vacation, I was having like nightmares about work, just trying to wind down from that experience. And after the first week, that's why I didn't start really relaxing until like the 4th, 5th day. And then relaxed the second week. And my 3rd week, I started the going on a big challenge and, going back to work. And I was working a bunch of time from, I believe, that November until the end of the year. But that whole experience changed my mentality towards largely, and that's when right before I started the Original People Network, the Jungle Trademark was just started, and we had some motion. That between October 2018 to January 2019 was one of the best runs in my life. But I learned something that particular year. Learn to take advantage of breaks. So when 2019 came around, when I was working a bunch of overtime, every other month I was off of work, because I'm like, people ain't monitoring my well-being. You can see certain things slipping, but hey, I need time off. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to relax. I need to stay in a good positive mode. I need to be my best self. So I had to ensure my well-being. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing. But we sleep on rest, literally. Because we think the best part of life happens when we are wide awake. But we have to think about sleep and rest in a whole different sort of fashion. Because just like how you put your phone on the charger, you have to put your body in the charger. During sleep is when your body grows, heals, your system shuts down and prepares to break down all the different toxins and other residue in the body. When you dream, this is when you see divine visions from the Most High, when your spirit is available and your body starts moving. So a lot of times clarity happens after a nap. A lot of times when I'm stressed, a good nap will set you right, refresh the senses. Yeah, your sight, your taste, your hearing, your feeling, your smelling. So if you running 24 hours, 7 days a week to achieve your goals, I ain't mad at you. While you have life, you have to do the most that you can. But don't forget, God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th day, He rested. It's a specific reason why that language and that verbiage was used in Genesis, to remind us that there is a balancing act of life. Not to work 7 days a week or 24/7, but we have to, when we work and play, we need rest. And a lot of us are lacking that. That's why, you will see yourself slowly aging. Well, not slowly aging, but rapidly aging. You'll find yourself your mental clarity isn't the best. And sometimes this can be held to, I always implore people to, as much as you can, detox your body. And then there's different forms of that. But as you grow older, you sort of understand the importance. And I more understand why babies sleep a lot, because a new life is trying to get acclimated to this environment, this realm. So it is essential that sleep, grow, sleep, grow, sleep, grow, sleep, grow. And then, as adults, they say, a child needs 8 hours sleep, and then you go off for 6 hours. Be that as it may, what I've learned about resting and the body and the mind is that we weren't made to, not really made to, but this whole hustle culture has been a double-edged sword. Because it is sort of put in our minds as a generation that for what you want is great sacrifice and you have to work 24 hours a day, not knowing that is very detrimental to our health. And we don't find out until it's too late. But I implore you today, get as much rest as you can, because this world, and I rest easy at night, this world's wicked. There's a lot of things out there that can keep you up at night, especially if you understand the injustices that happens around us. A lot of you are losing sleep because the trials and tribulations that you have to endure while you're awake. But trust. You can rest easy in the Lord, you know. I know I do. As I speak, I can feel my eyes getting a little heavy. You know, I'm at peace in my dojo, as usual. And it's like, I ain't really have everything ain't cool. But still, I ain't really got much to worry about, you know. All my needs is provided for. And whatever is due good unto me will come. So cast your cares and your worries upon him, you know, says the Lord. I think that's what makes me just go about life a little bit more freer. That and understanding that this world is about to soon be over, and even thinking about that really brings a sigh of relief. Because obviously this is a topic for another podcast, but when you understand and are aware of what's really transpiring out there, you really would be in a situation where you feel like, I don't know. But with the world in it, you just gotta focus on what you were brought to earth to do. Because at some point in time, the wealth and the status symbols that we garner to ourselves, that we collect, won't mean anything. Even on your deathbed, the life you live will not be measured by your earthly gains, but by the impact that you had on people's lives. Think I'm lying? Go to any funeral. Hear what the people say. They are all people have all people have are memories of how you treat them and the impact you left. Not the big mansion that your kids or family members are going to eventually sell, or someone going to take it, or whatever the case may be, but the impact that you had on the human soul. And when you live in that environment, you sleep easy at night. You don't worry too much. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. But you just know, when enough is enough, I go into my bed. I go to sleep. You know, get ready for the new day. Energized. Fully attentive and awake. And that's all I gotta say. My mother's sick. Thank you all for listening to another episode of My Mother's Sick. I mean, if you all have a topic that you want me to speak upon, I think I have probably some more. But we can keep it short for this episode. You know, slide in our DMs, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. I don't think I may have a personal Snapchat, but we ain't got no accounts like that on Snapchat. Or, you know, the email at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com. Give me some things to talk about. But we are gearing up. I've been saying this for the last 4 months. Getting up for episode 100 of Ever and Cool. And even that, I ain't even stressing myself to get that through. It happens when it happens. But thank y'all for listening and always listening. And to the people that inspire, thank you for coming up to me in the streets and, you know, showing love for my content and everything that I do. And, you know, share with a friend who needs a little pep talk with Lord Jalen Willard. And I can see y'all next time on whatever and whenever pod that we ever put out. So, later.